periodically art goes through kind of like this shift between like it, or well, I guess in the past a lot, it's kind of taken these like steps of this is what it used to be, and then all of a sudden there's this drastic change that brings this whole new thing that's viewed, you know, by like, it's like controversial, and people don't like it, people don't understand it, and then out of that like grows, you know, a new era of art.
What may appear in the beginning as chaos contains a myriad of possibilities percolating coherence. Noticing the dynamics of circumstance, of chaos and order, of change, and the dissolution of existing form to allow for the emergence of a new and uncertain form is an essential part of the creative process. Making art is a way to take notice of our world, our interior world of thoughts and feelings, and the world outside us that enters through our senses. Art making is an exploration of how we construct meaning through our perceptions. The dynamic interaction between the medium and the artist's thought, vision and hand is a dialogue which necessitates listening. As the artist guides the exchange, he must listen to what the medium is saying, being present and sensitive to nuances that might influence the course of the conversation. As David Bohm once wrote, the ability to respond sensitively and freely in new ways to subtle indications of significant changes in the observable facts is the foundation of perceptual intelligence. Intelligence does not arise primarily out of thought. The deep source of intelligence is the unknown and the indefinable totality from which all perception originates. Clearly then, intelligence is not to be regarded as a result of accumulated knowledge, which could be learned, for example, as a science or as a technique. Rather, it can be regarded as an art, the art of perception through the mind. The degree to which the artist listens and the degree to which the artist is willing to risk the uncertainty of an unpredictable outcome is the extent to which the artist allows imaginative insight to affect their creative process. The art pieces in this exhibition are relics of these students' conversations as they explored the uncharted terrain presented when chaos, change, and uncertainty are engaged.
So when I first got the assignment for the chaos, I had no idea what I'm gonna do. And I was talking to my mom, and then I was thinking of my elementary school science projects, and then I thought of lemon juice. And then the lemon juice are totally invisible when it gets dry. So I kind of thought it will be related to chaos because the chaos means it's out of my hand. It's uncontrolled. So I used that lemon juice and then I cut it in half and I sprayed it everywhere. I felt it like that. And then I ironed it, and then the tiger-shaped just came out from the rice paper that I used. Mm-hmm. So I was so shocked and surprised. So I thought about it, and then I was reading this Asian culture book, and then I started to think about my piece applying to the Asian lifestyle. So I created this wood burning tools, and then I used burning tools to have this little lines of Asian mountains, and then I painted I used only brown and black color to create this Asian lifestyle. So yeah.
Basically, after throwing out many chaotic ideas to Lucia, I came to the conclusion that at a time in my life, I felt the most chaotic with the connection and the relationship between myself and my body. And so therefore, I wanted to use my body as a paintbrush per se. So I rolled out muslin fabric on the art room floor, and it was still in construction, so we had a lot of room, and I taped it down to the ground, and I got myself into my old dance unitard, and I had my fellow students pour acrylic paint onto my body. And I'm a previous dancer, and also I teach yoga. So even though, as I said before, the relationship with my body is chaotic, I think that's more of a mental relationship that needs to be formed. But that luckily I've been able to make that relationship stronger with yoga. And so that was exciting to incorporate that into this project. So I stretched out before, got the paint poured on me, and I put on a CD of my very favorite songs, and I just started dancing. And I had about 10 people watching, but it all kind of just went away. It was this surreal moment where I just felt completely free. There was nothing that could stop me. I was running out of breath, but at the same time there was some other breath that was keeping me breathing, because it was extraordinary. I mean, there would be moments where I would kind of slip because there would be globs of paint, but it was fun, and it was like being a child again, with no worries, no insecurities, no fears, and no prerequisite judges on other people, I guess you could say. So from there, I knew that I wanted to create a gown out of it. As a costumer, I see things in clothing, but I wanted to create a gown that was in movement. And now I've created a gown that's in movement, so I'm really happy with it. So, yeah.
I saw this bubble wrap just sitting on a table, and I was like inspired by it. I was like, oh, that might be a very good idea if I like fill those in with acrylic color and pop it. Like, that'd be fun, and like it'd be pretty chaotic, and I don't have to be in control of that. So I got idea from that, and then I started to play with that, and pretty much like while I was working, I was actually having really fun. I've never done this kind of thing before. I used to like drawing, and I used to like something that I can't really control, but this piece was like really challenging for me. It was something that I can put one more step into. Like I can try something new now. So I was really glad about that. I'm happy that I did this piece. So yeah.
I did the mural on the back of the theater, and first I was blindfolded, and I used the water gun to splat the paints, and then I drew the crazy man with the holding tomato and watercolor. Yeah, so that's what I did with the pastel and acrylic. Yeah.
My piece is, I think it deals a lot with the kind of the line that's drawn between chaos and order. And my piece, like when I was kind of looking at the first layer that I created, I was kind of trying to think of a real life example of where you see that you see the line between chaos and order, and it just reminded me of my trip to Venezuela, where I stayed in one of the barrios there, and like you look at it and it has just the illusion of being completely chaotic, because it's just all these buildings just randomly stacked on top of each other, just going up all the way up these hillsides, and but then once you actually go into them, there are these roads that go up. They're not completely plumbed, because a lot of people are living below the poverty line, but they do have plumbing, and they've kind of figured out a way to survive. And in amongst the chaos, there's like this sense of order, and that was really interesting to me. So when I did my first layer using the different types of metal and stuff, I put I used like this somewhat translucent film and I drew on it, and then I stuck them on top, and it's just kind of dealing with like the geometric shapes of the buildings and kind of juxtaposing with the organic shapes that you get from the melting of the metals and how the metals kind of melt into each other and join. And I was just kind of dealing with that connection. So I guess.